was driving to work actually, and this happened. Clutch pedal went to the floor, so all very strange. And I come out, look in the engine bay. Look at the clutch reservoir, pretty much full. Certainly hasn't really lost anything. I mean, there's the max line there, so it's about right. I'm kind of a few different theories about what it could be, but I think it's going to be the slave. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this airbox off, which is fairly easy. It's a matter of some bolts, some Jubilee clips and some pipe connections. Take that off and see if I can get to the clutch slave. So I've just undone that connector there. This is Jubilee on 10mm, 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 and then under this little rubber cover, if your car still has the same airbox that came with, is this 10mm long one that goes down there, and that should be the airbox out. And I'll just wriggle that out now. So now would be a good time as any to disconnect the battery. Probably doesn't really matter, but I'm taking all the sensors off, so I'm just going to do that as well. And then I'm going to take off these two 10mm to pop off this little cover. Again, this is all OEM stuff. If your car might not even have that by now. This thing has already been snapped and sticker welded on there, so that was the person who owned this car before me. Cheers for that. And then I'm going to try and get down to this hose for the air intake and take that off. Again, just trying to get myself space to get down to that slave cylinder. So we'll just pop the wire out of here. Little electrical connection. There you go. That's a 10mm, and then I think once I've undone that, this thing might be happy enough to come. Put that out there like that. There we have it. There we go, just down there. Zoom in. You can see that's the connector for the hydraulic fluid. You can see the yellow head of it there. So there's one bolt there and one bolt there, and obviously there's this which is for the hydraulic fluid. And then lo and behold, I found the culprit. Look at this. So that is a completely corroded and burst pipe with hydraulic brake fluid all over it, and that is your reason why the clutch is not working. And that down there is a cap from a Tango, which I haven't drunk. So, but anyway, that is that's the reason. So the problem with that is that's obviously the hard pipe, which goes up here, up here, up here, along and down and to the master. Let me get some light on the master. Might have to kind of take my word for it, but it goes to the master. Either way, that is the pipe I need, and the question will be, can I get one of them? That's what I need to know. So the first thing I want to do is try and undo it, and then if I can undo it, that'll be something. I don't know, you can see it. Look, if I look down here, there you go, that's on top of the master, and that's quite a nice pipe. And so let's see if I can undo this pipe first. I'm going to use one of these type of spanners, and I'll just go and undo it. Moral of the story is that one doesn't look like it's coming off, but the good news is I can just take this one up here off, and then see if I just take the whole lot. So take that one off, undo any of this bracket stuff here, and take it off at the master. So this is just a 10mm like that. That's off there. I can just start doing that, and then to take it out, I can just take this little horseshoe type clip off with a flat blade screwdriver. So that's that bit. This is all going to come out is one thing. So I just took the little 10mm out of here. That's now loose. I'll probably just pop this little line here out. Over 2 hands I can anyway. And then this whole thing is kind of loose, which is good. I'll just finish undoing this and see if I can get it out from there. So this is unclipped from here, so that can just fall straight out there. And then this is 10mm out there, so we're kind of out. And then these are just on these little clips here, which I can just get a little flat screwdriver with for that. And then finally, I can come over. So these little plastic clips, quite easily done by, if I show you on this one maybe, when it's like that, you can just get the little flat blade screwdriver and just pick it out. It'll come out. So that's easy enough. And then I was a bit wrong here, but I figured it out now. You have a 12mm at the top and a 17mm on the bottom, and they're both that brake type spanner. And I've just managed to undo that. I should be able to take this whole pipe out. Pipe is out. I did actually manage to take that out of there, and if I do that, I should, it says, be able to, I can't do much with that at the moment, but either way, you see there's a flat on there. I should be able to put that in a vise and undo this pipe. So that's what I'm going to give a go, just so that maybe I don't have to buy this pipe again as well. So this is the setup. Obviously managed to pull this up to here. I've got the little half moon thing there, and you can see this whole thing's just ripping as it undoes, but it does actually undo. And with that means I can actually keep this pipe if I want it. So that's how I'm going to leave it for now. I've just popped that flexi cable there. There was nothing wrong with it, so that I'm going to keep, and I'm just going to wait to see if I can buy another hard pipe which goes from there right the way to the top. You can see I've got a bag at the back there, right to the top there. Right, so here's the pipe. You can see that's the end that snapped off, and that's all the lovely corrosion I've got there. And then here, this is a HEL braided line I've got. You can see the banjo fitting into the master, and then this is for the slave. Now all I've got to do is figure out whether this replaces the whole line or part of it, and I'm going to take out the packaging. So this is it resting on the engine bay. It's actually quite a bit longer. I'll put it up to the old line in a sec. This obviously is just going underneath here to the master, where I've got the bag on at the back there, and it's got enough length about it to clip in up here to these points and then come down straight into the 90-degree bend which is on it, on top of the slave. So I can do away with all of the old line, so all of this bit and everything else, which is nice, because I was half thinking if it was only short then it would kind of go down to here, but it may as well just do the whole line instead. So what I need to do then is just unclip this bit of line here, maybe take off the bracket and stuff if it's not required, and then I'm going to try and take out that connection which is down here. You can see the 90-degree connection onto the top of the slaves under there. So you can see here, this is really quite a lot longer than if I put it to there. You've got a lot more length, and it's obviously flexible as well, so that gives you many more options. So first of all, I'm just going to take this back out of here with the screwdriver. See, it's already a little bit loose. It's just a big flathead. Like so. Two hands, I'll just get that little horseshoe out. Second thoughts, that's tight as ever, so I'm going to just undo it like this. And take that 10mm out there. And then this little little pop out bit there. There we go. So jack the car up, supporting on an axle stand on a bit of wood as well, and leave the jack in place. You've kind of got two things stopping the car come down, and then there should be more attaching this lower rain guard or whatever. But there isn't. I should have some screws in here. I've just got one this side and I think one the other side, so I'm just going to lower down this bit of plastic. There's no real space from below, so I think the easiest thing will be to take off this little air feed, and probably, if I have to, I'll take off this radiator hose as well. So we'll see how much space I can get myself. Back to the idle air control valve was removed, so I'm just going to take that off. So that's just a little push in the side here, and it just pulls straight off. I've got the 10mm spanner on there, and all I need to do now is just undo that. The 10mm on here, this wiring loom which goes to the injectors, and this little thing here, you can lift up the little tab, pull that back. I've got the cam position sensors, I believe they are off there, and then this bit of the wiring just pulls towards you, and then this is a lot more maneuverable now, and now it is. I should be able to get a better purchase on undoing that slave line. I decided to take off the radiator top hose as well. I'm sure there's people going, wow, you've taken off everything, but you know, it's not difficult to do. I just want to get this done now really. I'll leak a bit of coolant, but nothing too shabby. Just trying to get it on any of the connectors, might bag them up, but now I'm getting some space. Okay, this whole line is just turning. I'm going to go to the nuclear option, just cut it off and then just get a socket on it. It's nicely cut off there. I'm not going to keep it anyway, so it seems to be turning and not salvageable. And I'm just going to buzz the remainder off with a single hex 10mm. If you get a 17mm on there, you can prevent that bottom bit from spinning. Because there's like a nut head there, and just take it out with 10mm. There were easier ways of doing that, but that's what happened. It's all crowded anyway. You can see the spanner I've still got in there. There you go. And that's just holding that nut thing at below. Now I'm just going to put the new cable in, because there's nothing stopping it. Okay, so if that's just started threading, and you've got to be very careful not to cross thread that or anything, but you'll feel when it's nice and easy to go. You can also just turn it anti-clockwise until you feel it fall down the thread, but the space is very tight in there, but it's starting. And I've got a bag on here on the other end. I just stopped getting dirty while I was doing that. Now I can just route this round, check I've got on the right side of any cables and everything like that, and get it all up and in. So now I need to obviously put the copper rings in. Cheers for sending me this one. It's body oval. So I've got a spare anyway, and go either side. So put one next to the nut end and one next to the mossin end. I've also popped the hydraulic line in this clip here, so it can run round and it will go up here, but I'm not going to do that. Clip them in until everything's tight. Also, when it's obviously only in one end, you can turn the pipe round and make sure it's not twisted or anything. So here we have it. There's a copper washer above and below. Not exactly the same size as they gave me, but at least they're round. And only in one of the poppers, it's actually not long enough to go in both, but one's there. It's still got a bit of movement for the engine to move, and then that obviously goes round to down there. Now what I'm going to do is just tighten them both up, and then obviously snap that closed when I'm happy. There's my setup. There's 17mm on the bottom, and for some reason a 5/8 at the top seems the best fit. This is really awkward, but you can see a 17mm stopping that nut at the bottom, and 11mm open spanner just tightening up. So that's done. That is also done on there. This is run around here. I'm just going to clip that into there if it will go. I don't know if it will. Yeah, just about. That's in there like that. And then now I need to bleed the clutch. I don't know if you can see up there, but there's a ratchet up there with a short 8mm. It's only on a quarter drive, and that's just undone that. I've taken this 12mm bolt out there, and that enables me to remove this out of the way, which has just got the these electrical connectors on. I'll just do that, and then now with that out of the way, I'll just cut that back there. Sorry, the lack of light here is a bit difficult. You can see now I can actually get to that bleed nipple. That's what I'll do next. I've got the brake bleeding tool here, and an 8mm spanner. I'll just put that on there and we'll start bleeding. Right, that should be all in place now. I'm going to go and fill up the reservoir. Worth saying that when I'm below, I've got the eye protection. You don't want some brake fluid dropping in your eyes. That won't be much fun for you. Right, let's just undo this. This is dot 3 or dot 4. I'm going to put dot 4 in. Here we go. Still got a little bit in there. And all I need to do is top it up to the top and then start working that clutch pedal. Right, back in the car. See if I can work this pedal. This might take a while. So the reservoir's right at the top. And I'm going to come in here and do 10 pumps of the pedal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See where we are. And you can see it's almost at the bottom, but not at the bottom. And you can see down here that the line is nice and clear of bubbles. I'm going to do that about 3 times, keep on filling up, about 10 pumps, and see where we get to. Okay, so now I've finished off bleeding. I can obviously top this up, but I don't really want to top it off until it's back on the deck. So I'm going to just put a tiny little bit in it, and then I'm going to close off the bleed screw down there. So the 8mm's tight underneath there. Obviously removed the bleedy bottle, the one over there. This is just a one-way bleed with a big old bottle to catch it. And now the moment of truth. I'll probably just put a dash more in there, and we'll see if I've got a clutch pedal. Back in the car, press the clutch pedal down, springs back, good start. First, second, third, fourth. Obviously it's a bit weird to do this when you're not rolling or anything, and then reverse. So I can get all the gears, the clutch pedal appears to be working, and I can just basically reassemble everything. Starting with that little bracket underneath here. First thing, I want to go and get this little bracket back. There we go. Where is it? There we go. That little bracket. Let's stick the little 10mm nut that holds that in place. So that is up back in there, that little electrical connection holder. Then we're going to get this little rain guard back in place with a couple of screws and a couple of zip ties like it was before. Right, so now I'm just going to lift the car back up, take the axle stand out, and put it back to the ground. So now it really is a matter of the easy stuff. It's just plugging all my sensors back in, and I'll just do that as I speak. So I've got this one at the bottom here, but at the same time you want to make sure that everything is kind of in place. So you've got this wiring loom at the back here, goes there. Like that. You've got this little tang down here, so that wants to go clip in there, like that. So now, there we go, that's in there, that's in there, like that, and then I can just plug stuff like that in. Cam position sensors. We've got this idle air control valve plug right here. So You can kind of hear them all snapping. TPS here, it's 3-wire one. Okay, you have got map sensor. Is that a map sensor? No, that might be something else, but this thing, I think this is the map sensor. And that is a good question. Might be a purge solenoid, don't know. So that's all that plugged in. Just make sure you're all plugged in and all the wires are happy, because it's going to be much easier to do that now. The next thing is I'm going to put the 10mm back in there. Try to get my 10mm bolt and chuck that back in there like that. Do that up, and then that's all pretty much done. This, like I say, is already snapped in there, and then I'm going to come in here and get my coolant hose, chuck that straight on there to there, get some pliers like this, and then just wheedle them on like that. And you can just adjust them a bit more down. And then just walk it on. Much easier to do this with two hands, and that's what I'll do. So that's all where it should be. Take the block off. I had this little bag with some glue roll, block off the inlet, and then I can just, I think it's almost time just to put the intake box back in. So I'll go and grab that. So I've got this lower air intake. So this is for the dirty air, and this is got a 10mm there. Then I've got the intake pipe. I'm obviously going to wriggle it in there and do that with a 10mm on the Jubilee. Then we're ready for the airbox. So that was easier done with obviously this connector off and 10mm on my Milwaukee, and that's snapped back in there, and that can just go in place here like so. And then I can just feed this. I think this is air intake temp. That's in there like that, and then there like that. So to get the airbox in easily, just take off the throttle cable, give you a bit more access, get it in on this back stud, and then you want to ease it into the lower pipe and then put it on the top. There we have it. Might even be easier without that on initially, so up to you, but either way it's quite easy. Then just put that side pipe in. This thing's broken again, sticker fleps job, that wasn't me. That throttle cable back in, and we're almost ready. This screw goes down here, 10mm. This nut goes down here, again 10mm. This long one goes down here, 10mm. And then that little rubber cap goes over the top of this bolt when it's down. So that's all done up. That little rubber cap thing's on top. And this bit, a lot of people won't even have this. I like it because you know, it looks standard. That's in there. And then you've just got these two screws to finish up. So now this. Okay, final thing is obviously you want to fill up the radiator reservoir. You can't quite see, but it's got two lines on it, and that denotes how full it is. Get it warm. That's obviously the coolant and water mix, and then you need to make sure you don't forget place the heater fans on hot, and that circulates water through the heater matrix as well. And then let it get up to temperature and just make sure, see if I can get the light on it. My light's dead, that's good. But down there's two marks and it's a very dirty bottle. So you'll be able to see how much you've got in. and just let it get up to temperature on your dash and check the level's good. To aid me being able to actually even see what level the coolant's at because the bottle was so dirty. Got a toothbrush, taped it to a toothbrush. I know that's a bit Mickey Mouse, but... And then clean the side of the bottle, and that way you can see the pink liquid's there, and it wants to be around that mark. It's probably a little bit high, but give or take around that mark. At least I can see what level it's at now. And then carry on around the car, the bubbles will come out, the level will come down a bit, and then top it up to the max when you're happy. Okay, getting up to temperature, the level's good. Ooh. And hot air coming through. So all in all, pretty good. And that up to the max, and then just place this in here, like so. Screw that, and then, whew, moment of truth. Let's see if I've got a clutch. So, put that back down here, put that there, shove that, and then grab my keys. Yeah, the keys. Yeah, the keys. Get the jack out of the way. Then let's see if I can actually drive anyway. Check I'm not in gear. Forward. It's actually very good. It's almost like all of the bite is at the bottom, which is a bit weird, but it feels very immediate. So that's quite interesting. Let's go back again. Yeah, it's almost like there's no sponge in it at all. So anyway, there we go. That's how to do it. There's probably quicker ways of doing it, but I've done it now.